Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we'll be talking something about the gestures. So gestures are basically nothing but they are activities like scrolling, flinging or double tapping. So for example, you might have used certain applications in which you scroll through. For example, if you have some news application installed on your Android device, so in order to go through the news feed you just scroll it up with your finger. So basically scrolling is a gesture in which you drag something upwards, and the next gesture which we are going to learn is going to be the fling. So fling is basically similar to the scrolling, but the thing is that in fling we simply click it, drag it above and then leave it, and it is going to go up. And another gesture which we are going to discuss is going to be the double tap. So double tap is basically clicking on the screen twice. So in this tutorial we are going to learn how you could handle the gestures for your particular application. So for example, when a particular gesture occurs, so depending upon that gesture you want to do something so that you could understand that that particular gesture has taken place. So what I have done is that I have cleaned up my previous project, that is I have deleted the entire code which we have written for handling the certain events, and I've also cleared the main.xml file. So what I have done is that I went on to this text view and I deleted each and every widget which was present into our screen, and also I have cleaned up the strings which were used in the previous tutorial. So now let's get started with this tutorial. So what we are trying to achieve in this tutorial is that we are going to have an activity screen and we are going to add a text right here, and depending upon the activity or depending upon the gesture which we perform, the text is going to change as per our gesture. So let's go ahead and add up some text on the screen. So we just go into widgets and drag and drop this large text on the screen. So let's say we drop here. Now let's change the ID of this text to, let's say, my message. So we click the text, go into properties and change the ID to my message. Now once this is done, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to import certain classes in the main activity.java file. So in order to do that, we go into the main activity and we add up some imports which we are going to need. So the first import which we are going to need is going to be the text view which we have already imported, and now the next import which we are going to need is going to be the motion event. So we type import android dot view dot motion event. Now the last thing which we import is the gesture detector compact. So in order to import that, we type import android dot support dot v4 dot view and dot gesture detector compact. Now once this is done, we are pretty much done with importing the packages which we are going to use in this Java class. Now the next thing which we do is that as we are going to listen to the gestures and the double tap, so we go right ahead in this public class main activity, and in front of this extends app compact activity we are going to add implements. So basically implements is a keyword which is used in order to add or in order to use the methods of a particular interface or class. Now if you have some understanding of Java, you will understand why implements is used. So we type implements and we want to implement the methods of the gesture detector. So after implements we type gesture detector, and the method which we want to implement is the on gesture listener. So basically on gesture listener is a event handler for detecting the gestures. So we give a dot operator and we type on gesture listener, and we also want to listen for double tap, so we give a comma, then we type gesture detector again, and now this time we are going to need the double tap listener. So we give a dot operator and we type on double tap listener. Now once this is done, we go inside the class and then we create the text view as well as the gesture detector compact. So we type private text view and let's name the message as my message. So we type my message, and let's also create a gesture detector. So we type private gesture detector and let's name it as just gesture detector. So once this is done, you could see that this line of code right here is displaying some errors, and that is because we have not added the implemented methods. So in order to add the implemented methods, we go right below the on create, we hold the Alt key on our keyboard and then we press the insert key, and then we are going to select the implement methods. Now as you could see, these are the methods which we want to implement. So basically these methods are from the double tap and these methods are from the gesture listener. So in order to implement those, we simply select these and click OK. So as you could see, the methods are added to our Java class, and you could also see that the error has disappeared. So the next thing which we need to do is that in order to identify these events uniquely, we go inside these methods and type in some message. But before typing the message, we go inside the onCreate method and we type my message equals, and we typecast it by using the text view. So we type text view and then we find the message by ID. So we type find view by ID, and what we are trying to find is going to be the message. So we type r.id and the ID of message is my message. So we select my message and then we go ahead and we create a gesture detector. So we type this dot gesture detector equals new gesture detector compat, and inside the parameters we are going to specify this and this. So if you don't understand why the keyword this is used, so the main significance of using the this keyword is that this refers to the current object which we are working on. So I think this should be just gesture detector. And the next thing which we do is that we also need to set the double tap listener. So we type gesture detector dot set double tap listener, and we also specify the parameter as this, as we are referencing to this object. Now after we are done adding the code in the onCreate method, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to add message to each and every implemented method. So in order to add the message, we type my message, then we give a dot operator and we use set text, and inside the set text we specify the text which we want to display. So as in this case we want to display the text like single tap confirmed. So we simply copy this and paste it over here. So now once we are done adding a message to this, the next thing which we are going to do is that we are going to copy this message and we are going to paste in each and every method, and we are going to just change the text so as to identify each of the method uniquely. So I simply go ahead and copy this message, paste it over here and change the text to on double tap, so that we could understand that the double tap event has occurred. So I'll go ahead and add this message to each and every method. So once we are done adding message to each and every method, our code looks something like this. So what I've done is that I have simply copied the same message and I've just changed the text of the message. So once we are done with this, we are pretty much done with the first part of our tutorial. So in the next tutorial, what we are going to do is that we are going to add one more overridden method to this code, and then finally we are going to run this application on our emulator. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.